Okay, thank you, everyone. Before we proceed, I need to make an announcement that concerning this. It's difficult, only me doing every other thing and coordinating this class all the time. There's a lot of things I need one of you to be assisting me doing. And because of that, in my previous 2 classes, I have men as my course rep. This time around, I want to choose a lady, and my observation is based on who is very active, who does what we ask the person to do. And because of that, I'm choosing Madam Ali or Lady Ali, Angela here. So I'm choosing Angela to be our course report. If Angela have 24 hours to think about it and get back. If you are not interested, just let us that you can do it. It's going to require a lot of sacrifice because you are going to be there for everybody. So it's a lot of work. It's not like, yeah. So that is it. If there is challenges, you need to listen to team members and things like that. So it's very important. Responsibilities. So it's up to you to accept or decline. If you decline, we continue to look for who is capable to handle the position. Or if you accept it, then all you need to do is after this, you can go to the platform and address the fellow team members or boot campers, telling them you've accepted the position and how you want to be there for them. I don't know anybody from Adams. I don't know you from Adams. I don't need to know you specially or know your portfolio. But my own is based on few periods we have been here. I've assessed. I've been looking out for who is going to. When I say do something, you do it. When I say do this, put your camera on. These are little things that matters for me. I say use our background, you do it. No, I don't want this is the kind of leadership I want. And that's it. So if you have anything to say before we hit the button and start our lesson, you can say. If you want to quickly decline, it's up to you. It's free of charge. You can decline. If you want to quickly accept it, grab it, good and fine. You can quickly grab it. Yeah.
She won't decline. She has accepted.
Thank you, everyone.
Please allow
her. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Charles, for the offer. I accept it. I hope to all my fellow that I live up to the challenge. Any questions? Or please remember that I'm also learning alongside you, so please bear with me in any way that I fall short, and I will do my best to help any which way I can. But thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, Angela. That's a good one. As we're progressing, when we're about to start our boot camp, our internship, as soon as the lesson is over, we are going to have more group leaders that are going to work under you. So, because we need to split some of these groups, for effective collaboration, because we're going to be looking for a situation where we are going to be having offline meeting, outdoor events. We are working on social media platform, and we need to engage. There's a situation where we might need to go out to engage, outdoor activities or a road show or something like that. So yeah, because of that, we are going to be having like many groups that are going to be working under you. But for now, all you need to do is assist me in managing the class. We already have other admin, like Chidera is always, Chidera. We probably have Miss Oma here. these are people that I've been working with for like 4 or 5 years, 3 to 4 years now, both of them. So they are here to assist as well, but they are going to help to make the work easy. So I'm going to equally introduce you to our other course reps in our other platform. Like we have Tony. Tony is our course rep for AI prompt engineering bootcamp. Tony is based in USA. We have Eche. Eche is based in Lagos. In our project, these are the current classes that are going on that we can, so you can collaborate with them to know or learn from their experience on how to manage and lead your team. All right, thank you everyone for, I can see you guys have already supported Angela. Please give her support. All we are here is for leadership training, and the leadership have started. So it's time to start testing the leadership. This is project management, is core leadership, which I believe every graduate should be a project manager before you can do anything. It's very, very important. Okay. Tonight we are going to be discussing what we call project brief. Project brief. What is project brief? We can call it project mandate as well. Whichever way you hear project brief, project mandate is the same thing. It's a document. It's not a document. It's an event. It's a situation where the project sponsor brief whoever is about to start a project. So many cases, it happened that business analyst starts a project by trying to understand the problem, not the project manager. So many of you do not know that business analysts in most cases are the person that initiates a project. In some cases, not so many, in some cases, you find out that it starts from a project manager. It depends on the way the organization runs. We have what we call PMO office. They decide the way it's being run. But generically, most cases is business analyst, because the business analyst is the person that tries to understand the problem. You know, so it starts with a project brief where the project sponsors. Project sponsor is the person that is financing the project. You can be the person securing the finance from the organization. For instance, in an organization, your team, if your team is having challenges, you as the head of department can decide to go extra mile to solve the problem by procuring a technology. We call it a solution that will help your team or department to solve the project, the problem. In this case, you, the HOD of that department, let's say finance department, you, the HOD, trying to secure funding to implement a solution like ERP to solve a problem, becomes the project sponsor. You might be working in an organization where your organization work for clients. So if you find out that in situation, you work for clients. So in this case, the project sponsor will become the client you are working for. For instance, now, if you are working for KPMG or if you are working for Accenture, these are consulting companies, and they hired their company to help, a client hired their company to help them solve a problem. That client, we call it client, that client is the project sponsor. So that is it. So project brief start from project sponsor. sitting you down as a project manager or as a business analyst to tell you their problem, why they want this project, what they expect from you as a project manager or as a business analyst from the team. Is a chart. That's what we call it a brief. In this brief, you gather as much information as possible as a business analyst or as a project manager. Project brief can be oral. You can have a one-on-one roundtable meeting and they will talk you over what they want to achieve. You then ask questions. In so many cases, they will document a project brief. Find out the project sponsor have already documented it in a document, in a piece of paper, and then hand it over to you to review. So it's up to you. You go through it, the document, and then go back to ask question or something like that. That is what we call project brief. So this is the first step towards starting a project. That is the first document you are going to see. So it's not an authoritative document because it can just be oral one-on-one meeting, but it's very important because this is where you understand what their problem is. We call it problem statement, their goal, their objectives, the budget they have, and every other things. From there, you start identifying who are the stakeholders involved in this project. Who are all the people involved? Then you start interviewing them. That's what we call requirement gathering. You interview them. That's how the project starts. And at the end of the whole initiate stage, the business analyst will come up with what we call business case. Business case will then justify if the project will hold or not. By that time, the business analyst must have gathered enough requirements, document the requirement, analyze the requirement, come up with a solution to solve the problem, and then come up with recommendation. From all the solution analyzed, you come up with up to 3 solutions you're recommending for your project sponsor to approve one. Once approved, then the project starts. And that is when we come up with what we call project charter, to appoint a project manager. If a project manager has been in that project all this while, this is the time to authoritatively hand him the mantle of leadership to deliver the project. So that's it. So let's look at our notes and understand from there what are the components in project. What are the things we are going to be looking at if we are here to, if we call you up tomorrow to capture or document or review a project brief. What are you going to look out for? There are key information you need to look out for. So just like I said, let's see our brief description here. A project brief is a concise document that summarizes the essential detail of the project. It serves as a key communication tool, ensuring that all stakeholders have a shared understanding of the project goals, scope, and deliverables. The project brief is often created early in the project life cycle to guide the planning and execution stage. Who is responsible for creating a project brief? So this is question has been a recurring question, which I always want to address it at the beginning. Who is responsible? The responsibility for creating project brief typically falls to the project manager or the project sponsor, depending on the size and the complexity. So if we have a project manager, it's the duty of the project manager. You are not, project manager is always the leader. But in so many cases, you find out that we always want business analysts. That's why I'm always trying to merge this class, project manager and business analyst, because in so many cases, they share a lot of responsibilities. So, but it falls between these two people. If the project sponsor have documented it, then the project manager, you are happy, you take it up from there. But if it's not documented, it's their duty to capture it and document it as a document. So everything depending on the size and complexity. In some cases, it might be a collaborative effort involving key stakeholders such as business analysts. So business analyst plays a very important role because they understand problems more than project managers. But in so many cases, so many project managers are experienced business analysts. You see so many project managers, they are business analysts that graduated into project manager. You know, so, or equally senior management team. You can call them subject matter expert within that department, organization, or unit. So, as the leader of the project, which is the project manager, it falls under you. But if there is no project manager, if we see business analysts trying to do this job, do not argue, because they still have the capacity to do that. If there is no, only if there is no project manager. If there is project manager, if you are a smart project manager, it's very important to carry business analyst early in order to understand the problem, because they have more eagle eyes in solving problems than project managers. So, but if the project sponsor have decided to do this job for you, documented it, then you should be thankful. And yeah, so, but this is whom. So with this, I don't think we are going to be asking question who is responsibility for creating a project brief. It falls within these people mentioned here. The project manager ensures that all relevant information is gathered, while the project sponsor ensures they align with strategic goals. Yeah, all the relevant information is gathered. Who is going to gather all the relevant information? Business analysts. That is their main function is requirement gathering and documentation and analysis. They are very good at this, and this is what they are being paid for. Okay, let's look at steps in creating a project brief, because very soon you are going to find yourself trying to, either a project brief is created, then you want to review them. But if you force within your lap as a project manager, you can take these steps. You define the project title. Choose title that clearly reflects the project purpose. Okay. In our own case, If we're implementing, we're having a problem within the finance, we're looking at implementing ERP system. If I want to craft a title, I can just say ChantUp ERP implementation project. ChantUp ERP implementation project. The way it sounds, everybody who hears the name of this project can link this project to a specific need. ERP in ChantUp, where do they use ERP in an organization? And in ChantUp, they already know what this project signifies and what this project represents. It can be ChantUp CRM implementation. If you say CRM, and we know that it's different units. ERP is mainly finance, plays a big role in using ERP. CRM, sales unit, plays a big role in using CRM. If you say HR, or let's say success factor, or supply chain management solution, or ITSM solution implementation. So you have to craft a name that suits this this project very well. If we are implementing an ERP project for ChantUp, it's going to be a disservice for us to come and use the name Alpha Project. What is that? Yeah, it's a sweet Alpha is a sweet name, but anybody, you need to start telling everybody, you need some explanation all the time. You need some explanation because they don't know, even within the people who don't know what is Alpha. You say Alpha Project, Beta Project. You know, these are short, sweet names. But once you say ChantUp ERP implementation, everybody knows. So choose the title that reflects the project purpose. Ensure it's concise and clearly recognizable by all stakeholders. This is the first task you need to do. Then background information, summarize the context of the project, including the projects, the problems or opportunity that led to the initiation. Include relevant history, business environment, and why the project is necessary at this point in time. So you must have a background to explain what that project signifies. State the project objectives. Identify the specific measurable goals the project intends to achieve. This should be aligned with business objective and addresses the needs identified in the background. Then define the project scope. It's important at the beginning to define the scope. If you understand the objective, yes, at this point you need to set a boundary. Try to ask questions to know where to enter and where not to enter. If you do not know where to enter, you might waste a lot of resources visiting irrelevant sites or meeting people. Once we're having a meeting is resources. When you have sitting down, interviewing the wrong person, you are wasting funds. So you must understand the scope. If you do not understand scope, eventually you find yourself in scope creep. So it's important to understand the scope. Here we have what we call in scope and out of scope. In scope is the where to enter. Out of scope is where not to enter. So clearly outline what is included in the project and just as importantly, what is excluded, that is out of scope. This prevents scope creep and ensure all parties understand the project boundaries. Boundaries are very important in a project, and everything we do in life is important to understand your boundaries. It will help you to excel. Crossing boundaries always comes with serious penalties. You know, if you want to enter America without due process, you are stepping out of your boundaries. If a Nigerian plane enters American land without proper authorization, you might find yourself, they will shoot you down. That's problem, that's boundary. It's important to understand your boundary in a project as well. Identify stakeholders. These are important people that you need to understand. What is stakeholders? We have different types of stakeholders. You need to try to understand your stakeholders. You know, it's a they are going to help you a lot if you understand them very well. But if you do not understand stakeholders, you might end up gathering wrong requirements. Okay, we have two types of stakeholders at this point. We have internal stakeholders. These are example, management, project team, and marketing and operation. Internal stakeholders are people working within the organization. And we have external stakeholders. These are stakeholders. Stakeholders are people that are affected by that project in one way or the other. You know, it's either they are benefiting from the project or they are the people using the outcome of that project. If it becomes a product, stakeholders are the people that are buying that product. They are still stakeholders. So we need to understand all the relevant stakeholders. We have some people, regulatory bodies, that you need to understand how to interact with them. They are stakeholders. For instance, external stakeholders can be local government authority. It can be federal government, can be state government. It can be price starters, it can be agencies like regulatory agencies like health and safety agencies, central bank, EFCC, data regulatory bodies. They are all stakeholders. You need to understand all of them, like customers, suppliers. Suppliers are people that where you buy or procure resources. You know, they are all stakeholders. We have customers. Customers can be people who are using your product, buying your product. It can equally be end users within the organization that are using the product. So we need to try to understand the people involved. Clarify their roles, responsibilities, and interests in the project. Yeah. Anybody, we call everybody stakeholder because the person they've got vested interest. You need to understand what are that vested interest they have in that project. It's going to help you a long way. Then you need to understand all the things that need to be delivered. Call them deliverables. Very soon, as a project manager or business analyst or a project team member, these are some key words you are going to be hearing so much. Deliverables, deliverables, all the time, deliverables. So you need to list the project deliverables, detail the tangible and intangible outcome the project will produce. Break this down into key milestones or phases to track progress more easily. Then you can see with this, you are already having a picture. Your projects, whatever you want to do is taking shape. You are beginning to see picture of what is going to happen. Set the project timeline. You must like when we started, I told you guys that project is a temporal endeavor that has value. It must be temporal, and at the end of that temporal period, you must produce value. So you must understand the timeline. Even if it's not an authoritative, it must at least expected, use the word expected timeline. So these are things you need to understand from the project sponsor. How long? This is a question you are going to ask. How long do you expect these projects to, or how long do you expect this problem for us to solve this problem? How long? You say, at least within the next 6 months, we want this problem solved or want this solution delivered. That's giving you why. There might be a reason behind that, why they want that to be done. So, for instance, during COVID-19, there is vaccine that need to be distributed to all citizens. All citizens need to be vaccinated within 6 months before the next wave of COVID comes. So they're expecting before the next wave, everybody will, maybe they give them expected a next wave might hit in the next 8 months. So now they say, government can say, we want every citizen to be vaccinated within the 6 months to be ready for the next wave to reduce casualties. So with this now, you can say that if they tell you we want this to be delivered in 6 months, you can see the seriousness of that 6 months. They are not playing. It's not a joke. If you're a project manager that will implement or manage the distribution of vaccination of citizens within, now you see the reason behind the timeline. So timeline is something we'll have to take seriously. I might just tell you, I do this within 2 months, and then Mr. Charles said, no, it's not, because this is the way it happens so many cases. You know, a company might be looking for investors. They might say, okay, the investor might give them, let's say in next 6 months, we're coming to inspect the company for us to have our final say. There's a key things investors will need to know or understand the state of affairs before they start investing. And now they call it, we want to see an ERP system working before the investors come. That might be the purpose, to show the investors we are, you know, a kind of a facelift. If you don't do that within the period and the investors arrived and they refuse to invest, of course, we are going to lose their job. So this, for you to understand, I'm just trying to use this, painting a picture, so that when you hear timeline, don't just play around with timeline, because it's not that the way you might be seeing it. I want you to see it from this angle, that is urgent. So try to, from the project sponsor, to understand the timeline and the reason behind why that timeline. Why is this? Why, if it says 6 months, it's 6 months. Why not 1 year? Why is it 6 months, not 1 year? It's important. Okay. Provide rough timeline for the project, including milestone and estimated duration. Depending on the complexity, this may involve weeks or months with high-level targets for each stage of the project. So these are some of the reasons. If you see project managers, they are panicking. They're always aggressive. Some of them, you see this guy is so wicked, he's so mean. It's always because they are under pressure. If you see people that work during COVID-19, it wasn't easy, it wasn't fun. For instance, some of us that witnessed it here in London, it wasn't a child's play, because most project managers, they were under serious pressure to deliver. They are not laughing. So if you want to be an obstacle, you just lose your job immediately. So determine the budget. So at this stage, the budget might be a rough estimate or a placeholder. It is important to define it. If there is to be determined a letter within the project. So, but if the project sponsor have come up with a budget that they don't want to change, at this point, the project sponsor will tell you that this is the budget and we are not ready to add anything on this budget. This is what we have. I managed to secure this fund. Just work with it. Don't come back for more. Then you know you have a budget. It's left for you to go and strategize how to work with this budget. Most time, the budget is always meager. Meager means that it's never enough. That's why they are looking for experienced project managers, so that you use your expertise to manage that budget to contain the project. It's just like your husband come to you and tell you, I have only 50,000 this week to make the soup. That's the only thing I have. I don't have any other thing. Then you go back and come back and tell the man that I need the extra 20,000. You are looking for trouble. And now you start calling your husband, he's a wicked man. He doesn't, but the man has already begged you. This is what I have. That is the way projects sounds. When they tell you this is what, try to respect what they have. Now that is why they trust you as a project manager. If you have a meager budget, you must look for where to cut costs. And as a matter of fact, you see so many of us are here aspiring to become project managers because there is hope that we are going to get a job through Upwork. Upwork, a lot of people come to Upwork because there is cheap labor in Upwork. So if most American companies, when they have limited budget, yeah, they will come and look for remote workers. Remote workers, so these are the sacrifices they are going to make now, because this is remote workers. You will not have the opportunity to see the person you are working with, sit on a round table. Yeah, you yourself, because they are cheaper, you have to go look for them. And That's it. Some of the things they pay us at Upwork is just a mega compared to what our counterparts are earning in, like in US, what they pay as a project manager is a peanut compared to what they pay project managers who come to the office. In US, in UK, the same thing. So that's why you see so many project managers, or you see start running in order to, you know, control their costs. So determine the budget is very, very important. So include major cost categories like marketing, logistics, operations, all the costs that you think that are very relevant. Talk about it. If you have, by this time you already understand the projects we are working on before you start talking about budget. So ask questions. Well, if they tell you this is what we have, good and fine. It's okay, let's go and try. So that's it. But in project brief, at least, if you are leaving after having a project brief meeting with a project sponsor, you must have kind of experience or kind of expected budget, what the budget looks like at this point. Assess risk and constraints. You should be able to talk about risk, ask questions. If it's one-on-one, if it's not on one-on-one, you make sure you look for it because it needs to be captured. Every project, even before the project starts, we see some of the risks. We can identify some of the risks, to identify potential risks or challenges that could impact the project. This could include resource availability, market acceptance, technological hurdles, or regulatory constraints. Also, mention any external dependencies or constraints such as legal regulation, vendor availability, or time constraints. These are things you need to look out for as well. Then define success factor. Don't leave a meeting when you're going to discuss project brief. You cannot leave that meeting without understanding what success looks like for them. The project sponsor must tell you what success looks like in this project. If you succeed, what are you expecting in a success? We call it success factors. List the critical success factor that will indicate whether the project has achieved its objectives. This should be measurable, such as customer satisfaction, on-time delivery, or revenue generation. These are some of the success factors. And that's it. So, in a nutshell, this is the 10 elements. These are called key elements. This is what I've just discussed now. So this is a skeleton. If you're going for a meeting, you can have this as a guide and you'll be ticking each of them and have questions to ask within each of these elements. You talk about the background, you talk about the title, you talk about the objective, scope, stakeholders, delivery. By the time you finish ticking, if you must come home or come out of that meeting with something tangible. You must have something good to take away from the meeting. As a matter of fact, every meeting you attend as a project manager, you must have a takeaway. Don't leave any meeting without a takeaway. What are we taking away from this meeting? We'll be sitting here for 2 hours discussing, wasting money. At the end of this meeting, what are we taking home? Don't be surprised. It happens a lot. you find yourself in a 5 hours meeting, everybody will be sweating. You know, at the end of the day, some people will even tell you, I've been in so many meetings, will come out and say me, Mr. Charles, I did not even understand anything. What are we even, when is the next meeting come? What? They do not understand anything in that meeting. And some people are like that. They will just come in a meeting, they are not organized, they just talk. They don't, nothing is organized. So, but if you find yourself in such a meeting, you can use your expertise to organize the meeting by asking some questions. If they come in a meeting where they find out that the project sponsor is not, because being a project sponsor doesn't mean that you are going to be very intelligent. It doesn't mean that you are going to be even a graduate. You don't need to be a graduate to be a project. All you need to do is to secure money and invite a project manager and the people that will help you to achieve it. Because if you can achieve it yourself, there's no need of looking for people that will assist you. So in this case, if you have a template like this, it's going to help you. You just be asking questions. Tell them what is the background, but they tell you. By the time you do this, and at the end of the day, you ask what is the success like. By the time they tell you the success or how the success, you have something to go home. And you are, mind you, you are trying to gather requirements you are going to use during your kickoff meeting. Because during the kickoff meeting, you are going to invite your team members that the project is starting, or we need to start this project. You need to talk to them authoritatively as a leader. You don't need to come and start telling them, I think they do not even understand what success, because some of the team members might be very smart as well, and then they ask you what is the success factor as the project manager, and you, the project manager, do not know what is the success factor. That will become so embarrassing. Okay. The importance of project brief, number one, alignment, ensures that all stakeholders are aligned on the project goal and expectations. Clarity, provide a clear understanding of the project objective, scope, and deliverable. And then number three, reference points, act as key reference documents throughout the project life cycle, especially during the planning and execution. Is very, very important. Is important. And you know why project brief is very important? Because so many projects, I've seen so many projects, they don't have project charter. So all they are relying on is project brief, but that is a wrong way to manage a project. Every project should have a project charter, but all these things is not a must, but we are doing it so that you can deliver quality project. And when problem comes, when there is big challenges, because it's already, when we are managing a problem, we are managing problem. When you have challenges, you should have some key documents that can help you to defend yourself that you did all you are supposed to do. That's the main important thought, but we don't need to go to project charter. Let's just not preempt projects until we get there. But project brief document is extremely important as a reference document. So let's look at examples. This is a project brief for this company Monify CRM implementation. So now you see implementation of CRM system for Monify. That is the title. With the title here, you already understand what they are doing. It captures the project sponsor and the project manager, and equally business analyst. Business analyst is an important person in a project. So if you're a project manager, you try as much as you can to respect them. Then objectives. In this case, you see the objective of this project is to streamline customer interaction across P2P payment, agent banking, remittance, and card payment service, enhance customer satisfaction and loyalty through efficient case management, faster query resolution, and automate sales, onboarding, and marketing operation to support Modify multi-channel. Please put yourself on mute. Multi-channel growth strategy in UK and Nigeria. Equip Modify agents and internal team with real-time dashboard and analytics for informed decision making. You've captured the objective, then scope. Clearly here we have, you see, when we talk about scope, you have in scope and out of scope. If you don't have out of scope, it's not a bad question if you can tell them to, tell you the out of scope, so that will be guided. So in scope, number one, selection and configuration. Selection, configuration, and deployment of CRM system. Example, Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM sales. 2, integration of the CRM with Modify app, backend, agent system, payments, gateway APIs, and communication channel. Migration of existing stakeholder, existing customer, agent, and transaction data into the CRM. Setup of workflow for lead management, case tracking, KYC verification, which is know your customer, and customer feedback. Staff and agent training on CRM usage and operational procedure. Development of analytics dashboard for customer support, marketing, and sales. So now they have listed what they are looking for, why they want someone who have experience or who can help them to implement a CRM system. They want a CRM system that can help them do this job. And then they're telling you that this is area you should try as much as you can to avoid venturing into this area. We have out of scope core banking platform. We don't need to start developing another banking platform. They already have one. Redesign or replacement of Modify mobile app, or they already have mobile app. They don't want to redesign it, or they don't want to replace it. All they want is the CRM system that they can work and use to support their banking operation. Stakeholders, a list of stakeholders that we are going to be working with in this project. We have executive leadership, and that's the project sponsor. And clearly, this is the expectation. This is the expectation from each of the stakeholders. From the sponsor, timely delivery, improve customer satisfaction, and scalability. That's what the sponsor, the main thing the sponsor is looking for. Multi-agent network end users, streamline onboarding, better customer management tool, customer, UK and Nigeria, external users, faster support, personalized experience, and seamless service. This is what the customer needs. IT team, system integration, secure, stable CRM integration with modified system. Marketing and growth team, campaign optimization, beta segmentation, personalized engagement, automation. Operations team, case management, centralized query and dispute resolution tracking. So now you see all the stakeholders. There's the key stakeholder, and this is the stakeholders' role in the project, and this is their expectation from the team. You, the project manager, and your team, this is what they're expecting. So the day you are going to have a kickoff meeting with your team members, you need to tell them this is what the people need from us. Okay, deliverables, like I say, deliverables. You equally need key list of deliverable things. This is what they expect from you. So if you can deliver all this, you should cover everything, all their expectations. Fully deploy CRM, customized to modify financial services and operations. You see, it has summarized almost all the expectation. Integrated CRM system with transaction, payment, and messaging system. Accurate migration of customer and agent data. Configure workflow for onboarding, KYC, support, marketing, and escalation management. Custom dashboard for customer engagement metric, agent performance, and sales reporting. Comprehensive user guide, training materials, and delivery of staff/agent training session. You see, you got this capture one need to be delivered. And key milestone, you capture key milestone as well. So finalize CRM with vendor from the initiate to finalize. It should take you at least 2 weeks. Complete requirement gathering 4 weeks. System configuration and customization 8 weeks. Data migration and UAT 10 weeks. Training rollout week 12, not week 12, not here, and go live week 14. So within the 14th week of the project, you should be able to go live. So all these are expectation. This is what is estimated. At this point, it's still estimated, but it's good to have this as a placeholder. You don't need to leave it. There must be a placeholder showing a direction of what needs to be done. But all these are subject to further requirement gathering and refining, requirement analysis and refining. Budgets, you see, stay here to be finalized. So it means that budget needs to be finalized. You have to make sure that budget is finalized, maybe giving the business analyst to do some market survey. The budget should cover CRM licensing, integration and development costs, data migration, training and change management, and initial 12-month support and maintenance. So in this, show that business analysts have some job to do here, because business analysts should go do the analysis and come up with budgets covering this. Risk, you've captured some risk here as well. So you must be able to have some risk captured and discuss the impact and if possible mitigations, that is plans. One of them here is vendor delay. you see is likelihood is medium, impact if it happens is high, mitigation, pre-qualified vendors define strict timeline, data migration inaccuracies, medium, if it happens is high, use automated tools, conduct thorough testing, resistance to CRM adoption, high. If it happens, it's medium, early involvement, training, and incentives. Integration complexity, that is payment API, medium. If it happens, it's high. Engage specialists, CRM integration partners. Compliance and data privacy risk, that's GDPR, medium. If it happens, it comes with high impact. Full data protection, impact assessment, and safeguard. These are some of the risks you can identify even before the project starts. And then success factor. Success factor here, you see CRM system deployed live on time and within budget. This is what they call a success. 100% customer and agent data successfully migrated. They don't want stories on the data. So all the data must be successfully migrated. 85% CRM user adoption within the first month post-implementation. 25% improvement in customer query resolution within 3 months. Positive feedback from over 90% of internal users and agents on system effectiveness. So when we say measurable success criteria, you can see that almost everything here is measurable. This one you can measure, say 100%. You see measurable, this one say 85%. This one say 25% in 3 months. This one say 90% of internal. So it's measurable. And then approval. So if you like, put approval. It's always so that you show that yes, the project sponsor have agreed that this is what after the meeting with the project sponsor. In case if the project sponsor is not the person that created it, even if the project sponsor that created it, it's still good to have that is an agreement. Approval here is an agreement that yes, we all agree that this is going to starting with this set of information. More information can come later, but at least we have something to start with. So have a executive sponsor and project manager and internal integration lead. So this can be added or is not compulsory to have this kind of approval at the end of it. So that is, you can use this as a guide if you've not seen a project brief before. There is another project brief template we have here. So this is project brief for 65 ERP system implementation. So under this, you see project overview, problem statement, objectives, project scope, in scope and out of scope. You see here the budget is clear, 10,000, and what it covers. And then you have a timeline and milestone is very clear. Total duration 2 months. And here you have stakeholders. Every stakeholder here is See it? And then you come down, you have project deliverables. You see all the deliverables captured. And then you have key success metrics. You see everything here is measured. You don't have measurable percentage measurement of almost everything is here. Then you have assumptions and risk. You capture some risk here, and that's it. You see, it covers this particular one seems to be more detailed than the first one we've seen. Yeah, so when you see almost all the components were captured, is equally captured in this project brief. So with this document like this, once you have a document like this as a project brief, you see you can just proceed and identify your stakeholders, all these things, so that you need to know people that you need to work with. Identify stakeholders first before you even start, so that if there's any more information you need, because you need more information, you need information before you call a meeting, a kickoff meeting. You cannot call a kickoff meeting and tell them that I'm still struggling to understand what we're here for. They are not going to take you seriously as a leader. You need to do whatever you need to do. It's important to understand stakeholders, their capacity and their expectation. Do stakeholder analysis. Understand more from stakeholders what needs to be done. In projects, the project sponsor is not the only person that you need to understand. That's why it's important to understand everybody who is involved. So you can quickly understand from whomever they call them stakeholder, because they've got something to offer or this is going to affect them in one way or the other. So try to understand them, have a quick chat, understand updates, and then before you call a meeting, don't just rely on everything you gathered from the project sponsor, even the project sponsor. That's why there is provision for stakeholder. If there is nothing to gather from anybody, you will not see provision for stakeholders. So that's it. And with this, we can say now I know. So this is how a project brief or project mandate. So this is it. This is how it looks like. Yeah, you can beat your chest and say, yes, I can now start. With what we have here, information we have here, and with all the templates and the rest of them, I doubt if you are going to struggle. If you already have a project you are working with, if you don't have a project brief, this will help you to streamline the project. And if you are going to start a project and you are confused, don't know where to start, this is a guide to help you to start your project. Or if you have an interview, they ask you what is project brief or what to do, how do you approach your project, tell them the first is to get to sit with the project and then understand the project, kind of capture the brief from the project sponsor, and have this first insight. This is the first insight we are going to, and other things will follow from this. So if you have question, feel free to ask your question. So if you have a question, you raise your hand, I'll pick you from hand raise. We have an extra Chidima Okezie. Please be fast so that other people can be captured as well. So Esther, a question. You know the ground rule. So
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for making the impact today. Really appreciate it. Okay, my question is if the budget assigned to me for a project is way less than what the demand is, do I go on to deliver a poor project or do I contest it with um, the company?
Yeah, you cannot say the budget is, we have what we call is put yourself, yeah. We always have a situation where we have to address budget problems. In so many cases, we have supplementary budgets. Yeah, but at the beginning, and you need to understand that's why in some cases they give you room to analyze, come up with a budget, with the I equally mentioned business analyst. You guys need to go work up with a budget. But if the budget has come up, everything, you will know the market price of things, because projects, you need to pay some people, you need to procure materials needed, like license for a CRM system or ERP system. It's always there in the market, you see. So if the budget cannot afford, if they have a specific CRM system or ERP system they are talking about, then the price is always obvious there. So at this point, it's still initiate stage. The project have not started. That's why you need to walk around. Make input. But like I said, if they say that this is what they have, no more, no less, then it's up to you to say, I've evaluated, I don't think I can be part of this. If it's a company you are working with, then if this is your line manager or this are work, so all of you will talk about it.
Please,
Involve
please.
Other line managers, people you work on, to talk about if we feel the project is too meager to handle the project. Everything is clear. When you are making such moves, it's quite clear that the budget is not enough or something like that. So, but like I said, if they come up or it's a contract and they tell you this is what we have, it's up to you to choose to work or not to work. But you need to, before you come up with, I'm not going, I don't think I can do it, you must have done your own feasibility studies too. If they don't agree, then yeah. So like in some cases, the budget might have come up, and you say this is a budget, and inflation comes, people, we call it exceptional circumstances. Like the case of, I watched a video on WhatsApp, on Facebook, one young man claiming he's working for state government, and when he started the project, the price of things just went boom. His budget contract is not a do or die, or it's not that once it's signed that it must be so. Everything, only if they don't know, because some of them can be inexperienced project managers or contractors. There's a way to handle this. When there is inflation, there is budget supplement. You come up with, yes, when we agree this is the price. Well, why I'm saying it, because you might be a project manager as a contractor as well. This is the price of things when we agree, and the price of, they cannot say no, it's not our business. It doesn't happen that way in project management. We take it only if you didn't deliver. If you delay the project when the project was supposed to be delivered, and you have the time to deliver the project within that time, and you wasted a lot of time, and over time, price of things change. Then it's abused because you deliberately or because of your inefficiency, but any good company, such a things will not even happen if you are experienced project manager. If there's no, you will not, but in a situation that budget, price of things change, we'll have supplementary budgets. We'll call it, you can use exceptional circumstances. Like in Nigerian cases, all the project managers or contractors can use what we call exceptional circumstances. Looking at, let's look at it this way. When Buhari was in power, Naira per pounds is 500. And all of a sudden, Tinubu took over from 500 per pounds to 2,000. So no project initiated within that period can survive. So with this, there should be a room for adjustment. Yeah. And mind you, you are not using your money you are not supposed to. Let me make this clear. For so many of us who are going to be, you can take a project as a contractor as well for government, state government, local government, and things like that. It's not your money that you are going to use to implement a project. There's what we call mobilization fee. They mobilize you money to start a project. You know, you can use that mobilize. So when you mobilize, they expect you to work on maybe and give you, that's why we break projects into stages and milestone. They give you a milestone. There's something they want you to achieve without money before they release more money for you. And that is how, once they mobilize you, they will monitor you closely to make sure you are delivering. So if you deliver within the first phase of the project, and within the second phase of the project, they need to mobilize you again, and the price of things changed, it has to be discussed. Or you back out. So that's it. That's all I can say. So we have Abraham Adeni.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I want to ask a question. For instance, now, I've worked somewhere before, not as a project manager, but what I did was kind of similar to project management. But it was Can you hear me,
Okay.
sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So, but it was a construction company. For instance, now let's say I'm being interviewed for a project management job in another industry that is not a construction company. And I was asked if I've done something like that in that industry. That's the new industry in which I'm being interviewed for. So is it advisable for me to be honest to them, like, okay, I've done a project management job in a different industry before, but not in this industry, or I can lie to them that I've done something like that, even though I haven't done it in new industry before?
Well, in this case, if you are telling me to encourage you to lie, yeah, but the issue here is that you've not done it you've never worked as a project manager, and they're asking you if you've worked if you have experience within the industry you worked, you might not really be working as a project manager, but you might have worked as a project support in one. If you don't have any related experience, then you are just lying. But if you have related, you mustn't be a project manager before you can have experience as a project to working in a project. You might have experience of project experience is enough. Yes, you can say, yes, I have experience, I've worked in this project. Even though not even as a manager, but to have experience in a project, work in this project in one way or the other as a project coordinator, as a project support, as a project this and that. You are being part of you have experience. It's not about being a project manager. Some people that have worked within the project, they might have experience. Some of them can even deliver more than some project managers. They've gathered experience. Some people are very good at, they work within this environment. They learn a lot. You know, you see some people like this, for instance, when I was a local government chairman, I have my PA. Yeah, my PA knows everything I'm doing. He knows everything about how to run a local government. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the next, you can see my PA can come out and start running for office of a local government chairman. He says, you know, a PA, but he might be more experienced than even so many other people who want to become a PA because he have worked in that office. He handled all the documents. He knows all the meetings. He does a lot of things, but he's a PA. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you might find yourself in a position that you've learned a lot, have first-class experience, but you might not be the project manager, but you understand project management. You've seen the documents. You've handled some certain things. You've been in so many meetings. That's enough for you to say, yes, I have the experience.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Ibadin Shalom. I hope I got your name right.
And good evening, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see my face, so I don't have light at the moment.
You can see at it.
Okay, so my question is, what if in a situation where you have several project proposal or a demand for several projects at the same time, how do you pick the one with the most priority? And who does the picking?
When you have so many project proposals.
Yeah, you are working in a company and there are several project proposals on the table. How do you pick the one with the most priority?
Yeah, we use priority metrics. There's what we call project priority metrics. But in this case, is the program manager that is supposed to choose, not a project manager. You know, program manager uses what we call project priority metrics to choose which one is. We use a urgency, impact and urgency metrics. So every project, that's why we come with what we call the impact of a project, the urgency of a project. Yeah. In some projects that is demanding, that is life-threatening. You see, it's different from other projects. We want to save life first. That is impact here and urgency. For instance, in hospital, if you call 911 or 999, it's emergency, there's some questions they are going to ask you before they will send an ambulance. No, like 3 people calling an ambulance at the same time and they have one ambulance. This is the kind of question asked now. You want to take a decision. They are going to ask the 3 people calling the situation on ground. They will tell you, is it life-threatening? You say no. They tell you, are you still breathing? You say yes. They say, are you vomiting blood? You say no. They said, okay. They will not start telling you, finding something to tell you, they can say, sit back, lie down, use water compress, or do this or that. They've taken their decision. They are not sending ambulance to you. They've used what we call impact and urgency at this moment to take their decision. One of the person calling the same line for ambulance, they say, can you breathe? He said, I'm losing my breath. I can't breathe. Now they're saying you are losing it. You know, the other person, they can say, well, I'm vomiting blood, but they ask you, can you still breathe? You say, yes, I can breathe, but I'm vomiting blood. The person who is losing breath is at the point of dying. So in this case, whom are you going to send an ambulance to?
The person who is dying. Is losing
Okay.
breath.
So that is how you choose a project, even outside hospital environment. You always look at the project that will deliver most value to the organization. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is the value. Which one is going to deliver most value? Which one is going to be mission critical? For instance, now a project, almost all the organization, they rely on internet. The whole internet connection collapse. And another project, the door to the company, just maybe there is a storm. Let me call it that there is a storm. And after the storm, the door collapse, the internet collapse, and maybe some other things happen. Or let's just say door collapse and the internet collapse. The door that collapsed, they can just clear the door. People can see come in and go out. They find a way to fix the door. But internet can affect the whole organization. Nobody can, no business transaction, like in a bank now. When the internet of a bank goes down, no transaction. If that internet doesn't happen in 5 days, no business banking transaction, you know the kind of crisis that will bring. But if because that storm, some of the building collapse, they can just start fixing it while the business is still going on. So in a situation like this, you look at the impact and urgency. Another way is how many people is affected. If there is a project that is affecting one person and the project is affecting 100 people, staff in the organization, you need to fix the one that is affecting 100 people because this is more critical than the one affecting one person. This is what we call impact and urgency. So you need to use what we call impact and urgency metrics to choose a project. We call it project priority metrics. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. We have Noella. If you raise your hand, you need to be fast because we've exceeded our time. This is just grace. Noella, okay, we are not coming out. So thank you, everyone. After Juliet, I will close the class.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Oh, you want to go and make up? You raise your hand.
No,
I can see you going to go and make up.
I was trying to put on my camera
No,
and then unmute myself.
We don't do that. If you want to ask questions, nobody is here for any beauty.
No, I was just trying to put on my camera and then unmute myself. That's all. I've been here all this while.
Okay, yeah, hair is looking good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
All right.
Okay, so thank you for your training today. So my question is this: So being a project manager, is your work only limited to when there is a project to handle, or are there instances where you get to continuously work with a company even after the end of the project?
It's the contracts that will determine their contracts, terms of contracts will determine what you do for the company.
Okay.
So that's what's if the company choose out of their competency to extend your job to become project manager plus, business analyst plus ITSM manager plus. So is the terms that determine. But what I'm interested here is how are you going to be a project manager, effective project manager, and deliver your project within the time, within the budget, within all the rigorous complexities, navigate and deliver what is expected. So anything outside the terms as a project manager, but it means that you've done well. They want you to do more things. Yeah. But I've seen in a situation, they will hire you as a project manager and you find yourself doing some other things. They might start using you in so many things, or some of that you can see you, they hire you because some of us might be so, you see them being so, or some of us being just trying to showcase ourselves. You tell them you are a data analyst as well. You are very good in data analysis. They can start taking advantage of you. They can tell you, can you help us analyze this data? You jump in and start analyzing data because they are taking advantage of you at this point. It's up to you. If you're enjoying it, you can calm down and enjoy it as long as it's not affecting you with the project delivery. Because you that want to showcase your data analysis skill while you're a project manager, there is something you are eyeing. So you can make that kind of sacrifice for them to see that you are beyond a project manager or you have the capacity of a product manager, even though you are a project manager. You can demonstrate, you can showcase yourself. What we call it is overlapping. You can overlap. You see footballers, if they want to, you see some footballers, they become defenders. You see so many defenders going to score goal. Yeah, they will not going to say, don't go and score goal for us because are you the one that's supposed to score goal? No club will tell you that you shouldn't go and score goal for us. But it's left for you. If you want to stay at the defense, nobody is going to be frowning at you that you are not going to score goal because it's not your duty. You will have attackers, will have forward, will have people that it's not you. Your own is to make sure that you defend, make sure that people don't conceive goal. But if you can defend and make sure people don't conceive goal and equally go and score goal, you become Drogba now, and everybody will believe you. Are you getting me? And company will find you very, very valuable. You find out that even if they are selling other players, they will find a way to keep you because they know you are beyond, but only if it's not going to affect your role as a project manager. Don't go and start overlapping. You go and start helping them doing their data analysis. You go help them start doing their sales analysis or whatever, while their own project is because you want to show them that in some cases, I will just call it overzealousness. Yeah.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
All right. Ajana Juliet. Juliet, you're on mute.
I'm very sorry about that. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mr. Charles. Thank you for your time. Okay, so my question is this. In a situation where you are employed by all these small to medium scale business or company as a PM, but you are never allowed to perform to your optimal role as a PM. It is always a directive from the MD, the CEO. You cannot even say, "Oh, this is what I think this is what is good for the project." They will just say no, or they have their own idea. Then managing clients, managing artisans. Maybe you have somebody that can perform optimally well in the same budget, and they have somebody else that they are using, and this person is not delivering on time, creating a lot of chaos and a lot of problem for the project. So in this situation, what should you do?
Yeah, this thing is happening because you didn't define your team very, you didn't define the stakeholders very well. You do not even know who are your stakeholders. Yeah. If you do a proper stakeholder analysis, you understand who is the stakeholder. Then you have, before the project starts, make sure you have what we call project charter. In project charter is the document that authorizes you to work as a project manager and stated what you need to do and the people you need to work with and the timeline you have. Nobody is going to come to mess up with you. But if you don't have, you don't even know boundary, don't even have how, you don't have scope of the project, you didn't capture scope, you don't know the scope. Everybody can just be tossing it around, you know. They know you don't know your job. That's why they are tossing you around. But if you know your job, somebody is now telling you, you need to say, well, this is not in our project charter. Once you mention some key terms, they will know that you know what you are doing. They tell you,
Excuse me,
what?
sir. I'm saying the MD of the company
What do you
now.
mean
That
by MD? Is MD,
like
is
the person, your
MD,
employer,
it doesn't matter whether MD or no MD.
your employer now is making your work difficult for you as a PM.
I'm not understand. What do you mean by employer? If the employer is the project sponsor, if the
Yeah,
employer is the person that employ you to handle a project, then he's your project sponsor.
project sponsor.
Huh?
The project sponsor now.
He is the project sponsor.
Yes.
So you have to capture requirement from him. He knows what the other people agreed on. This is what needs to be done. And you work the way it should be. You have capture requirement. Make sure you capture, you use key documents. Understand the scope from the beginning and out of scope. That's why in the project brief, I said out of scope, in scope. If you have captured requirement in scope and out of scope from the beginning, then it should allow you to work within your scope. If there is changes and you want to make additional changes, it's allowed. There can be changes, but whenever you want to make a change, there is room for changes. Request, change request. Let's use change request to make any additional change. And if there is budget, additional budget because of that change, make sure you capture that budget. And if you need to increase your timeline because of the change, then let them increase your timeline. Try to showcase your expertise. Because they are pushing you around because you have not shown any sign of expertise in you, so they just feel they are doing you a favor. They never feel you are a project manager anyway. They just, maybe they are helping you. And they are monitoring you because they don't trust you. They don't have confidence in you. And they don't want things to go bad. So it's all about confidence. It's just a show that they do not have confidence in you. And they are just keeping you there maybe because they feel they are doing you a favor. Maybe they like you, they want to keep you. But once you are a project manager, they don't allow you to do your job. They don't have confidence in you. Are you getting my point?
I understand, sir. I understand.
So that is also, if it's you or your brother or sister, that is a clear case. You have not.
But one thing is, I don't think it's about me personally, because a lot of PM that worked there before me, on getting there, what I notice is, from the people that are working there before, they said that nobody has used more than 3 months because of all these issues.
So what during the how did you get the job
I applied for it myself.
as a project manager?
Yes.
Okay. How did you showcase what and what have you demonstrated to them to show that you are a good project manager?
So once we started the project like that, I told them, okay, this is what I want us to do. These are the requirements. Well, okay, they will agree at the initial stage, but as time goes on, they will just be bringing different things into it.
Have
And
you used from the beginning mention project brief to them?
Yes.
Okay. Have you mentioned project charter to them?
No.
Okay. So what then authorizes you? Although these are like the main reason why some of you need to have this kind of training to understand, because you are there. For instance, me here, I'm a project manager. If I hire you, there's some key moves I need to see from you to understand if for instance, okay, let's use now me here. I hired you as a co-instructor to help me handle a project management class for me. I'll be teaching as a project manager. I need an extra person to help me teach. There are some things I need to see from you, even from the first class you handle, the second class, I'll be watching you. That will determine if I will say, okay, I'm leaving this class for you. But if I don't have the confidence you can handle that class, you see me always be hanging around because I don't want you to jeopardize my business. Are you getting my point?
I understand.
I'm always hanging around, monitoring, making sure, because I'm scared you might take a move that will disorganize the home company, depending on the kind of project you're handling.
They give contract to their family members, and you cannot, like, you understand that kind of situation whereby if somebody, a contractor, did not deliver on time the way I'm supposed to handle it, because this person is their family member, or this set of people are their family members, or
Like
related
I
to them.
said, if there's a few meetings you will call, there is few project management time, there's some documentation you will put in place, everybody will give gap for you. They will know that you are a top project. They will even want to learn from you.
Okay, sir.
So try to show what you can bring to the table. Don't just go start fighting and you are fighting for title. You are not showcase what you can do.
Okay.
You are not exhibited. Just like now, you are in a team. They need you to score goal. You are there fighting. I'm the captain. I'm the captain. You've not shown everything. A captain should be, at least before you be a captain of a club, you must be able to do one or two things that way. Everybody will say, wow, you're not doing anything, and you're always trying to you are dragging position. First, try to show what you can bring to table. That is competency. Key deliverables, one or few meetings, things that you talk, your contribution will determine if they are going to leave the position for you to enjoy it. But if you are not showing that thing that is going to separate you from others, it doesn't matter if they have hired 20 project managers. If they have hired the wrong people 20 times, they will fire them 20 times. Yeah,
Yes,
so that is all I can say. Anybody who hired you, they want to work with. So that's what I believe. And if they don't want, if they are tired, they will let you go. They are just keeping because, because I don't know the scenario, but if they are keeping you because they still want to keep you, they still have something they see in you that why they are keeping you. But if they feel there's nothing you can bring to table, they will fire you. If they feel at this point we still need to guard our this thing, then show them why what you are made of. And that's it. Even if you want to go, they will beg you to stay.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. Sorry we exceeded our time, and yeah, I will have to see you guys tomorrow. And conclusively, if you know that you have not enrolled, make sure you enroll to avoid administrative charges, because it's rare and it's going to be 20,000 naira. I know it's a mega, it's a chicken change for so many of you. Well, that's it. All right. See you tomorrow. The same time. Same here.
Good night, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Good night.